Roblox is facing massive liability and huge legal trouble in a swarm of litigation, particularly as Louisiana hits it with what may be a killer lawsuit and may be copied by states and even countries around the world. We're going to get into that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, an American attorney. And of course, this is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in the legal news. If you like the Fast Facts, make sure to like and comment on the video below. Now, today's topic is Louisiana versus Roblox, and we're going to focus on that and give you a little background here. We've got, of course, the intro PowerPoint and the pelican feeding its children its own blood. Very interesting flag of Louisiana there, because this is under Louisiana law. Now, I try to be entertaining whenever I can, but today's topic is a somber topic. It is a serious topic. So please be respectful in the comments. And if you're watching this as a premiere with a live chat, make sure you're respectful in the chat as well, because once again, this is a very serious topic. This is something that very many people are sensitive to and have bad experiences with. We're going to be talking about child predation, which is a very, very sensitive topic. So please approach that with some sensitivity and some care for other human beings here. And today, of course, I'm going to be a little bit more serious on this one. So Roblox is a popular game amongst children and teens, and it has been promoted as, even by the company, the #1 game for children and teens. And mainstream media, as you see here, has backed this up for the last couple of years, even going back to the COVID era. It's been something that has been widely promoted for children. Now, there's been a problem, and one of the problems is that certain people within the game have been going after minors, have been targeting minors specifically, and that's a problem. So, seeing that problem, some YouTubers and some people out there, content creators, other people, individuals, right, vigilante groups, have gone out and dedicated themselves to finding these individuals and turning them over to law enforcement. One of those channels, this is just an example of one person, is Schlep. And Schlep went out there and went after people and got a lot of people in trouble. You can see here a number of people, predator, caught, predator. I mean, this guy was pretty dedicated to coming after people. But as you see here, Roblox is threatening to sue me for protecting kids. Not only did they ban this guy from the game, but they threatened to sue him for actually going out and turning over predators to law enforcement. Absolutely insane stuff. Now, we'll get into the response. This response was really crazy. So when people pushed back and said, well, why are you doing this? Why are you banning these vigilante groups? Why are you banning people like Schlep? Well, it turns out what they were concerned about is the privacy of the predators, saying due to privacy considerations, we can't talk about this. Well, why are we so concerned with people that have been confirmed arrested by law enforcement, many of which have been already adjudicated, have been locked up? Now, I understand the principle of innocent until proven guilty. However, there's a substantial amount of evidence here. And for a person like Schlep, who goes out here and finds these predators, the risk is on him. Because if Schlep goes out and calls somebody a predator and does not have sufficient proof of that, he could be very guilty of defamation and super liable for going out and calling people that. I think it's something that people take a massive risk. If you go out and label something as that, that's a criminal label. If you're labeling someone as a criminal, you need to be damn well certain, and this is worth cursing for, you need to be very certain that they are actually that. So they've gone out and done that research. They've gotten the evidence. They've gotten the Carfax. They've turned them over to law enforcement. Many of them have been arrested, but we're still concerned about the privacy of predators. And beyond that, what they ask is, and the response was, what people should do is report it immediately to the standard channels. Well, as you're going to see, the standard channels failed. And once again, this is the response of Roblox. Report it to the standard channels. The standard channels aren't working. Minors are being preyed upon in your game. Whatever you have there is not sufficient to stop the harm. So this was not taken well at all. And now Roblox is facing dozens. You'd even say hundreds. You've got over a case filed in California, adds more than 300 lawsuits accusing the gaming giant of ignoring warnings about exploitive content and failing to protect children. And that's just one single federal case. Now we have the state of Louisiana coming in. And this is massive because this is a state leveraging its power. And when you get this sort of power, it has the power to change Roblox altogether. And while Louisiana may be the first to sue, I'm very certain they won't be the last. I'm very certain other states will follow suit because they are also going to want to protect the interests of minors. That is in the fundamental interest of most states and even most countries around the world. So let's get into the facts of this case. So Louisiana filed this case August 14th with the state attorney general. Other states are highly likely to follow because they're suing under Deceptive and Fair Trade Practices Act, as well as negligence, public nuisance, and unfair enrichment. Now, if you've been paying attention on my channel, if you've been awake and watching my channel on other things, just talking about Twitch, talking about other platforms, I have talked about deceptive and unfair trade practices as being one of the massive regulatory hammers that a lot of companies are just asking to get hit with. So you really need to ask yourself, not just in the case of Roblox, but what other companies are failing to provide warnings, are failing to provide significant safety measures. This is something that does not just apply to Roblox, but can apply broadly across the board. And a lot of digital businesses have gotten away for years with thinking that they can just do whatever they want because it's online, right? We have protection, it's online. Well, no, you do not have protections from these sort of liabilities, these sort of regulations. You are not immune from your duty to protect minors. Law enforcement, in fact, Louisiana law enforcement arrested a predator in Livingston Parish, Louisiana, who was using Roblox with a female voice changer to lure in minors, lure them off platform to other, Snapchat, etc. So there are tangible people being harmed. There are real people being harmed. This is not a theoretical thing. So let's get into the key accusations. The key accusations are that Roblox knowingly enabled and facilitated the systematic sexual exploitation of children across the United States. Systematic. That means broadly. And that they permitted and perpetuated an online environment in which children predators thrive, directly contributing to the widespread victimization of minor children. That's deep. They deliberately failed to implement effective safety measures and failed to warn parents. So all of this goes back to deceptive and unfair trade practices. They marketed themselves as safe for kids, but in fact, they were quite the opposite. Kids were pretty much open season on Roblox. So you see here the procedure. This is a state case because it's arising under state law, Louisiana law. Every state has Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act with slight variations. Roblox is a California-based business, but they do business in Louisiana, so jurisdiction and venue in Louisiana is proper. It is unlikely to be removed to a federal case unilaterally, meaning if Roblox tries, it's probably not going to work. Now, if several states bring these claims, it might be possible for these states to join and do a federal claim or something else like that. A federal claim might be able to come out of this, but just at this point, this will be in Louisiana. Let's talk about the facts. Roblox has 6.5 million experiences. Mind that word experiences. That's kind of a single environment in which Roblox completely controls. They're free, easy to access, and designed for kids. The app comparison, and they use this in the complaint, which I've read the entirety of, all 42 pages of it, to a digital playground. So Roblox is very comparable to a digital playground because there's no age minimum and it is targeted for kids. In fact, of the 82.9 million daily active users, 20% are under 9 years old, and the majority, 56%, are under 16 years old. So this is a children's platform. This is a teen and children platform, definitely minors here by the vast majority. The sign up is a big, big issue. See here, the sign up is a self-verified birthday, username, password. So it's very, very easy, very, very simple to bypass this. Self-reporting birthdays are the weakest of security measures. They're in fact a non-security measure because, as we all know, you can put whatever your birthday is in the past. In fact, I can say I've signed up for email addresses with a different birthday, right? When I'm just too lazy and I want to fill it in and I know they're not going to check, right? Everybody's done that at some point in their history, right? It's not necessarily criminal, right? However, what it does is it intentionally or recklessly allows fake birthdays, and knowing there's minors on here and there's certain content that is screened by age, it's allowing people that are older to put in that fake birthday and get into those things that should be screened for minors. Roblox has access to biometric age verification, but does not utilize it. Until 2024, the default settings turned off parental controls and let adults DM, direct message, private message kids. And now adults, this has been changed, but adults can still message kids within experiences. So you can have adults talking to children openly. The in-game currency is called Robux and can be exchanged for avatars. Minors are often obsessed with the items for avatars, and thus predators use this mechanism to lure in children with rare items. It's created the mantra, which they talk about, anything for Robux. The further facts say Roblox claims to have a zero tolerance for swearing, obscenities, messages of a sexual or violent nature, and any sort of aggressive, threatening communication. They also state that offenders will be immediately or permanently suspended. However, this is not the case. We have screenshots of literal abuse, literal language that is horrible, disgusting in the complaint, and that's just allowed. These people are not banned. They're just running around in Roblox. And you can see here some experiences. Of course, we have Escape to Epstein Island. And note, it's not rated 17 plus or even 13 plus or even 9 plus. It's rated for all ages. Escape to Epstein Island. This shows there's absolutely no due diligence here. You've got Diddy parties all over the place. Nice try, Diddy. Escape the Freaky Party, Diddy Simulator, Road to Diddy's, Diddy Party, Freaky Diddy Simulator. All this sort of stuff going on in Roblox. No checks, no balances. The facts are these experiences are problematic. There's sexual simulation experiences, Escape to Epstein Island, Diddy Simulator, Diddy Party, Public Bathroom Simulator, and various racial hate simulators, which once again, all of these have no place with children. No place. Zero place. The public relation campaigns that they're running, that the company themselves are running, they're using these organizations to influence narrative that Roblox is safe and deceptive, but these groups, these safety groups, have conflicts of interest. The board members of Roblox serve on the safety organizations. This harkens back to like the financial crisis, the GFC, where we had the credit bureaus and the mortgage lending agencies kind of working hand in hand, right, to just rate these like bad tranches of mortgages as good mortgages. It harkens back to that, and it just shows, like, once again, how these watchdog agencies can often be co-opted by the same industries they're supposed to regulate. The causes of action are three. The Unfair Practices Act, which essentially looks at the inadequate safety and failure to notify of predators, which is deceptive, unfair, unscrupulous, and oppressive. I think this is the strongest one as the best case of applying. But in the alternative, even if they don't prevail on this, they've got two more as backup, and these two are strong. The first is negligence of public nuisance, saying effectively inadequate safety and failure to provide notice was negligent and a public nuisance. This is similar to a playground or a pool that's unguarded or unwatched, and you just have people die in there, people having problems that are just openly dangerous, right? So this is very established as a digital playground. The public nuisance would definitely be applicable. Beyond that, in the alternative, they also have unjust enrichment, meaning they knowingly sold Roblox in a manner that was unfair, unconscionable, and oppressive, which once again, all of these three are sterling. I think they can get it on number one, but they may get it on number two as well. And in the alternative, they've got number three. So what are they asking them to do? Number one, they're asking Roblox to stop violating the law, which would effectively demand a pause, a shutdown, massive updates for Roblox, once again, which would disrupt their business. Second, they want Roblox to stop saying it's safe. So they would have to go back through their platform and say, no, we're not actually safe. They would remove all references to Roblox is safe and discontinue any public relations campaign that they're safe, which once again will be devastating for their audience. I mean, parents will pull out, businesses will pull out, advertisers, sponsors, collaborators. This is massive. And beyond that, they've got money, so restitution in Louisiana. They've got attorney's fees, et cetera. Also civil penalties and additional damages, right? So a lot of money that could come out of Roblox, in addition to having to pretty much completely rebrand themselves as an unsafe brand. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this one because this one is important. It's valuable. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.